Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 2021 annual meeting, the second one that's been held virtually. I'm Mary Weber, the current president of WoMN. And I want to talk about, first of all, this format was certainly not our first choice, but we did make this difficult decision due to the increase in COVID cases and the Delta variant. And we felt that with all the scary numbers in the news, that the best course of action was to be safe and to make sure that our members are all safe. So we've moved to virtual. We continue to make the best of it, and we have another amazing virtual program for you today. Before we hear from our impressive group of 2021 grantees, I do have a couple of announcements that I'd like to make first. So first, let me start by acknowledging the hard work of our Giving Women volunteer board members, present and those who just rolled off. I want to give a special shout out to Susan Dowd, Kari Miller, and Tiffany Anderson. They just left the board after many years of service, and each of them made a huge contribution to this organization, and they're very much missed on the board. In their stead, we have welcomed Sharon Secor and Maren Weber to the board. They, along with Lori Anderson, Jody O'Neill, Maureen Monchamp, Jana Deach, Diane Slayton, and Roseanne Chang, they bring such an energy and enthusiasm to help lead this organization, and I'm really honored to work with each of them. I do want to make a quick pitch for the fact that we are looking to increase the number of board members just to kind of spread out the workload a little bit. It's fun, it's satisfying work. And so if any of you out there are interested in joining the board, please reach out to me directly. We are looking for a couple more great women to join us. One of the historical elements of our in-person annual meetings has been a report from the treasurer. Earlier this spring, Diane Slayton did post a link to our financials on the website, and the link was in one of our email updates. If you do want to review those, they're available, and Diane is also available if you have any direct questions. So increasing our membership continues to be a major focus for the board and for the organization, albeit a somewhat challenging one during the global pandemic. However, I am so pleased to be able to announce that we currently have 142 active members, which I think might be the highest all-time number ever. We've had 10 new members this year, so we are starting to creep ever closer to that goal of 150 members. So congrats and thank you to all of you who continue to spread the word about our wonderful organization. And please feel free to share this video with anybody who might be interested in learning more about us or even joining us. We do continue to make an impact on our community through women-led philanthropy, which I think is probably more important now than ever before. While we have been spending a lot of time as a board being flexible and nimble and pivoting in these uncertain times, we have also begun the process of our 3-year strategic planning. Our two key priorities that we've identified are impact and sustainability for the organization. And each of the goals and strategies that we are going to be identifying will help to support one of these key focus areas. There's going to be lots more for us to say about this before the end of the year, but I just wanted to give you a taste of our strategy work and to reassure you that we are indeed looking ahead for a brighter future. In just a couple of minutes, you're going to hear from each of our 2021 grantees, which is always a highlight of the year. And it really puts a focus on why we exist as an organization. The power of our collective giving is evident in these grants. Also, the new grants process is just kicked off, and I want to give you an advance thank you to all of our hardworking grants team members. I know fall is a super busy time for them, so again, thank you. And finally, I am the bearer of some disappointing news. We have made another excruciatingly hard decision to move our eye opener to a virtual event. It will still be a real-time event this time, held on Saturday, November 6th. Again, terribly hard choice to make. We talked with a number of our presenters and heard from them that they would prefer the safety of a virtual event rather than an in-person event, even if we were wearing masks. So again, I, like all of us, wish we were in a different place, but we're going to continue to do our best with it. So watch for more information on the eye opener, as well as some other fun surprises that we're working on before the end of the year. So with that, I'm now going to turn things over to our MC for the day, Kari Miller. Take it away, Kari.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, I'm Kari Miller, former co-chair and now member of the Engage and Educate Committee, E&E for short. Before I go on, I wanted to thank the board for being so supportive in my 6 years of service. It's been so enjoyable and educational to work with you amazing women and to be accomplished. I'll miss our time together and hope to join you all again someday. Thank you also to all of the members who attended and invited guests to our events. You are how and why we continue to be able to put on the exceptional events we do. Your support and participation mean the world to all of us on E&E. Thank you so much. Now let's get to why we're here, to talk about grants and the 2021 class of grant recipients. As you can see here in our 16 short years, Giving Women has had an amazing impact on our community. With just under $1.8 million in grants given, that is a whole lot of good being shared. Now let's hear from this year's class of grant recipients. As we did last year, we've asked each grant recipient to submit a brief video with a little background on who they are and what amazing program they intend to use women grant dollars for. That said, on with the show. First up, we have Appetite for Change, and we are supporting their Community Cooks program. Here to talk about it is Nicole Power, the Community Cooks program manager.
We are so thankful to Giving Women for supporting Appetite for Change. Appetite for Change is a community-led nonprofit that uses food as a tool to build health, wealth, and social change. Through educational programs, cooking workshops, and policy change and social enterprise, AFC builds community capacity to making lasting change. Our programs bring community members together to engage with food in ways that strengthen the local economy, nourish generational knowledge, and strengthen social connection. Because of Giving Women, we are able to support families in our community during a time when there was an increase in need in food access. In 2020, we started Community Cooks Meal Box to bring a workshop to people's home. Many in our community are experiencing the effects of change in grocery stores, market, and employment access in the Twin City area after the pandemic and the community unrest of George Floyd. These meal boxes create space to intentionally share food in the community. We are also creating opportunities for sustained knowledge in agencies around food. Boxes offer tools to explore new foods, try seasonal ingredients, and learn about nutrition and flavors in a variety of cuisines, all within the comfortable home or chosen space. Boxes also serve as a distribution avenue for products from local small-scale growers and food businesses. Since the program began, we served over 15,000 meal boxes, nearly 200,000 meals or opportunities to connect and learn around food, over 120,000 pounds of local chemical-free produce. Upon enrollment, participants report a high level of food insecurity. After the first 30 weeks of programming, 8% of households reported a decrease in food insecurity. We also asked participants how their cooking habits have changed. Many reported they are more comfortable with reading and following a recipe, and over 40% of participants report they use new ingredients in their cooking. Your support at Giving Women helps sustain our Community Cooks Meal Box by offering opportunities for families to cook and connect over food. Thank you, Giving Women.
Thank you, Nicole. Next up, we have Marcus Flynn, the Executive Director of Black Men Teach. We supplied them with a grant to support their general operating. Let's hear from Mark.
My name is Marcus Flynn. I'm the Executive Director of Black Men Teach. Black Men Teach was designed to really increase the number of black male teachers in elementary schools. Minnesota is home to some of the starkest achievement gaps in the country. Right now in the state of Minnesota, about 75% of teachers are women. And then about 94% of teachers are white. So the vast majority of teachers you see do not look like you. What I see as the three main barriers for black men getting into the classroom. The first is the lack of representation. Next, I think it's the financial implications that are associated with teaching. And the third is what I consider school-induced trauma. If you ask almost any black man that you know about an experience where they feel like they were disproportionately punished by the school, they can tell you a story. I can, my friends can. It's almost like a rites of passage of going through a K-12 experience as a young black boy. I had a mentor tell me that if you're able to intersect your passion and your talent, that's how you find your purpose. My passion for youth development, mentorship, building relationships fit perfectly in a role like this because I understood the impact I wanted to have. And so decided to pursue a career in education, and that kind of led me here. Studies have said that if you have a black teacher in a classroom, black students are 13% more likely to enroll in college. If you add a second, and this is by third grade, now they're 32% more likely to enroll in college, less likely to drop out of high school. So significant long-term benefits of having black men in elementary school classes, right? Compelling data showing the long-term impact that these teachers have on these students. We have a good mission that really resonates with people, and we have support to make sure that we're able to make sure that our vision and our goals manifest. Black students on average have an additional about $26,000 in student loan debt. So now we're talking about over $50,000 in student loan debts relative to a starting salary of $44,000. One of the best things Black Men Teach has done to date is we've had actually 6 teachers who we've given up to $50,000 in loan forgiveness to. Before I became executive director and I was just a classroom teacher, I was one of them. It was the most affirming thing that had happened to me since I started teaching. And from my perspective of being a teacher, being a black student, it's something about that innate connection. It creates a different environment for learning. It's palpable. What we would love to see is classrooms led by black men, and you see students in those classrooms have tremendous long-term outcomes.
Just wanted to say thank you, Giving Women, for making us one of your grantees. The money you all gave us will be a significant influence on how we're able to go about doing the work that we really feel like will help eliminate some of the achievement gaps that we see. Right now, we've got about 40 men total in our program, and it's going to help us support those men, make sure that they're in a position where they can go on and be successful when they're a classroom teacher one day. So again, thank you all, and I really appreciate you all considering us and choosing us to be one of your recipients.
Thank you, Marcus. Always great to hear of all the good work you are doing there at Black Men Teach. Now we have Dream of Wild Health. We supported their endeavor to build their capacity further. And to speak about this is Neely Snyder, the Executive Director of Dream of Wild Health.
So hi, my name is Neely Snyder. I am the Executive Director at Dream of Wild Health. Dream of Wild Health is working to reclaim the health and well-being in the Native community by recovering knowledge of and access to healthy Indigenous foods, medicines, and lifeways. We can achieve this by providing culturally based opportunities for youth participants, increasing access to healthy foods through our farm production and expansion efforts that go directly back into the Native community, through our community education and outreach programs, and our partnerships with the Indigenous Food Network. We work primarily with the urban Native communities in the Twin Cities area. We have an office located in South Minneapolis, which has a large Native community, and we have a farm located in Hugo, Minnesota, which is about 40 minutes north of the Twin Cities. Last year, we increased our farm size by 200% because we knew that our community needs access to healthy foods and that our Native farmers need more land and space to grow more foods that will go back into our community. With the funding from Giving Women, we were able to increase our capacity and focus on our mission. Our farm team has maximized the growing space on our farm and have increased our growing season by 8 weeks. Our Indigenous food shares, which is a CSA food box, have more than doubled this year. We are now attending 2 farmers markets this season versus 1 in the past few years. Dream of Wild Health also has an online platform where families, local chefs and restaurants, and community partners can pre-order produce and pick them up at our farmers market locations in the Twin Cities. Through these efforts, our revenue has more than doubled in the past year. We are currently addressing the urgent food needs of our community by bringing produce directly into the community and giving them away to the families who need them the most. Our team has created food as medicine cards to distribute to those families so they can try new recipes and understand the nutritional value of the foods they are enjoying. Just in the last month, we've donated over 1,585 pounds of produce to over 300 Native families in the community. The Dream of Wild Health youth and staff at the farm safely welcomed youth again to our farm this season, where we have summer youth programs. We've heard from our youth about their challenges with schooling and socializing since the pandemic. And we are providing a safe space for them, and they're so eager to come back and work with us. And we're so excited to be there these past 2 seasons. And we're just so happy that we've done this safely. One mother shared that her son struggled to find his place among his classmates and had a hard time making connections to kids his own age. His mother also shared that after one day of being in our summer programs, he went home with a new attitude, a new outlook, and he was really happy. Our program gave him the sense of belonging and a sense of place in this world, and they were very thankful that we were there to work with him. We are so thankful for the team at Giving Women who believed in our programs. We're so grateful for the generosity and support that Giving Women has provided us so that we can continue these efforts in building a stronger and healthy Native community.
We'd like to take a moment to remind you of our mission statement. The purpose of Giving Women is to nurture women's leadership in philanthropy by engaging and educating our members, increasing charitable contributions, and strengthening our community impact collective giving. If you ask me, with this group of grant recipients, we are certainly maintaining our mission. Next up, we're going to hear from Karen Koch, the executive of Help at Your Door. We supplied them with a grant for their general operating. Let's hear from Karen.
Hi, I'm Karen Koch, Executive Director of Help at Your Door. We provide services to help seniors and individuals with disabilities maintain their independence at home. We do this by providing grocery support, transportation, and home support services. We'd like to thank Giving Women for all their support during this pandemic. Due to the grant funds we received, we were able to keep people safe and at home. Thank you so much.
Help at Your Door is about caring for people in the community and having the people for whom we're providing the services feel cared for, feel connected with, feel like they're a part of the community, so that when you go see them, you're dropping by to see them because you care about them, you wonder how they're doing, and you want to make sure that if there's anything you can do to make life easier for them that particular day, that's what you're there for.
The time that I show up, you've always been here. So, and you know what? I'm glad you're here because then I get to see you.
Yeah,
well, once every 2 weeks is, I need my Peggy fix.
Staying in our own home is important to us. We have a dog that we love, and we love our home.
We have a view that we love.
Yeah.
So, and of course Nancy does all she can do to help me, and I appreciate it, but there's a point where you just can't keep doing everything all the time. So even just a little break for her is a wonderful thing.
I think life is a team sport, and we're part of the team for people who come to us and say that they would appreciate some extra assistance. And then once they come to get to know you, they trust you to do more if more is needed. And we can be more of a resource for them and build a relationship with them where we're all part of the same community.
Thank you, Karen. PCs for People also was building their capacity with our grant money this year. Chris Cairo, the program manager, is here to tell us what they're going to do.
At PCs for People, our goal is to provide technology services, support, and internet access to low-income individuals on our mission to close the digital divide. Since 1998, we've been working in tandem with businesses and corporations around the United States to refurbish and recycle the equipment that would have otherwise been discarded. Last year, we responsibly recycled 2.4 million pounds of used computer equipment. Nationally, PCs for People has grown into the leader in technology redistribution. PCs for People is currently in 7 different states, with distribution networks allowing us to connect with recycling partners anywhere in the United States. PCs for People upholds the industry's highest standards for data protection and security. We are NAID and R2 certified. In the midst of the pandemic, 43,000 computers were distributed to low-income families and students, making it possible for education to continue and help families stay connected. Partnering and recycling with PCs for People will allow this urgent mission to continue at a time where the stakes are so high. We all have the ability to impact thousands, possibly millions, in this mission. Working together, we can solve the crisis of the digital divide.
Hi, I'm Chris Cairo, the Managing Director for PCs for People here in Minnesota. First and foremost, thank you for your support of the mission for PCs for People to bridge the digital divide here in Minnesota. And thank you for the opportunity to tell you a little bit about the need which drives our mission and what we're able to do with your support. PCs for People started 20 years ago here in Minnesota when our chairman and founder recognized the impact of giving one student a computer. That realization of how much impact computers have in people's lives blossomed into an organization that has impacted over 250,000 individuals, many who now own a computer for the first time. This past year with the pandemic has shown us just how important it is to be connected digitally. It is important for kids in school to have a computer and internet access. It is important for those looking for employment opportunities, for families to be able to stay connected, and even to access healthcare information. Many of these things we simply take for granted. So how do we bridge the digital divide? PCs for People works with companies both small and large to collect their end-of-life computers and other electronic equipment, and then refurbish those computers so we can make them available to individuals and families within 200% of the poverty line. Along with affordable computers, we provide low-cost internet access through both hotspots and now as a wireless internet service provider. Recently, we merged and acquired Kids Tech in Denver, a program we will roll out nationally to provide digital education. With your support this year of these programs, we'll be able to meet the digital needs of 140 families here in Minnesota, allowing them to function and thrive in now what is a digital world. On their behalf, thank you. Equipment that cannot be used in our mission is responsibly recycled to avoid landfills. PCs for People also provides meaningful employment for people on the autism spectrum as part of our mission. We have grown to include operations in 7 states, with Minnesota being the largest, including 2 sites in St. Paul and 1 down in Mankato. While 90% of our mission is internally funded, we couldn't have the positive impact here in Minnesota without your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Now we have the link, and we are supporting their supporting housing program. Beth Folger, the Chief Executive Officer of the link, is here to tell us more.
My name is Beth Holger, and I work for The Link. The Link is a youth and adult-led nonprofit based here in North Minneapolis that provides a continuum of support and services for youth and young families who are experiencing homelessness, who have been victims and survivors of sex trafficking, or who are involved in the juvenile justice or child welfare systems. Our approach to this is very youth-driven. So we have youth that help us to design all of our programs, youth with lived experience of homelessness, trafficking, or involvement in the systems of juvenile justice or child welfare. And so we feel like that approach really makes our programming unique and more effective. The programs that we provide are street outreach. So we go out into the community where youth experiencing homelessness or trafficking tend to congregate and build relationships, provide crisis intervention and assistance to them to get connected into resources. We have a low barrier drop-in center where you can come in and take showers, meet with case managers and help get food and a lot of their basic needs met, along with connections to longer term services. We have a culturally specific homeless prevention program that provides support, financial assistance to help youth and young families who identify as Black stay within their homes and never experience homelessness or be housed quickly if they are. And then we also have an emergency shelter called Dignity House, which provides youth between the ages of 10 and 17 who are homeless with a safe place to live and work on their goals and go to school. And then we have 7 supportive housing programs for youth and young families experiencing homelessness, and some of those are also culturally specific. In addition to that, we have specialized street outreach, emergency shelter, housing, and services for youth who have been victimized by sex trafficking, and also a collaborative program with the BCA Human Trafficking Investigators Task Force. And then we also have juvenile justice and child welfare alternative programs. So programs for young people that provide support and crisis intervention and ongoing services instead of putting them into an incarceration situation with the juvenile detention center. So with all of this, what we feel like is we provide trauma-informed, strength-based, youth-centered work that really helps to eradicate crisis for youth, helps them to become further empowered to accomplish the goals that they have for themselves. And it also gets them literally off the streets and helps them transition out of homelessness, out of a sex trafficking situation. And with the generous support of Giving Women, which we just appreciate how all of you come together to support the community so much. With those funds, what we're doing is supporting our 7 housing programs. So literally the funding that you're giving us is helping to provide housing to a youth that otherwise would be on the street. So helping a young person between the ages of 16 and 24 get off of the streets, out of homelessness, into safe housing, which usually the young people stay in our housing programs for 12 to 14 months. And during that time, they're able to become further empowered, heal, and accomplish goals that they have for themselves and achieve housing stability. So thank you so much for your support. We truly appreciate it. And your each dollar you have makes a huge impact on a young person's life. So thank you.
We'd like to take a brief moment to hear from our Vice President, Lori Anderson. Lori will be sharing with us the executive coaching that we at Giving Women will be providing to this year's grant recipients. Take it away, Lori.
Greetings, Giving Women, friends, and grantees. I'm Lori Anderson. I've been a member of the board since 2018, and I'm thrilled to speak to you today. Leaders of industry the world over are focused on maximizing their effectiveness. These days, many of them have a secret weapon in that quest, an executive coach. It's really an opportunity for a leader to create a tailor-made development plan with one-on-one guidance in setting and achieving goals, learning new skills, and making better decisions. It's no surprise that leaders in the nonprofit world, however, often don't have the same opportunity. Not so for lucky grantees of Giving Women. Since 2015, we've been delighted to offer executive coaching services to our grantees in addition to the funding we provide. The ability to do this came about through a collaboration dreamed up by 2 amazing women, of course. Carla Bender, a founding member of Giving Women, and Mary Melbo, a gifted executive coach and member of the Calabrium, a locally based consortium of coaches and consultants. It's been a successful and impactful program by all measures. It's voluntary for extremely high rates. The individuals receiving the service are usually either the executive director of the nonprofit or the person leading the program funded by the grant. Their feedback about the value of the program has been overwhelmingly positive. And the coaches themselves indicate the value and the learning go both ways. Fast forward from 2015 through the intervening years and the turmoil of 2020, and there was a disappointing moment early this year when we thought we might no longer be able to offer this awesome perk. You see, our number of grantees has crept up little by little, while at the same time, the individual coaches of the Calabrium have begun to phase out of the workforce. As we looked for a long-term solution, we ultimately reached out to the Minnesota chapter of ICF, the International Coaches Federation, who generously agreed to make the opportunity available to their members. The number of coaches who responded was truly humbling, and I'm pleased to report that 7 of our 8 2021 grantees opted in and were assigned a highly qualified executive coach. The best news is we're looking at a sustainable program long into the future. ICF Minnesota is interested in a continued partnership with Giving Women. With so many coaches excited to participate, we'll be working together to create a robust matching process so our grantees will be able to play an active role in selecting a best fit coach for themselves. I'm looking forward to gathering feedback from the 2021 coaches and their clients, our grantees, about their experiences this year so we can make the program even better. I want to thank Carla and Mary for their powerful vision 7 years ago, as well as the Calabrium and the many coaches who've played a role since then. They've built a strong foundation for us to continue offering this amazing value to our future grantees. Thank you also to ICF Minnesota and the 2021 coaches. Thank you for your participation in this exciting event and for giving me this opportunity to share a little about this remarkable program.
Thank you, Lori. I love that in addition to providing these organizations with money to assist them financially, we are also able to offer them coaching and guidance to help them become more successful. A better prepared, enabled, and educated these leaders are, the more good they will be able to accomplish in our community. Now on to our final 2 2021 grant recipients. The first is the Open Door, who is a previous Giving Women grant recipient. This year we are supporting their mobile lunchbox program. And here to talk about it is Jason Viana.
Jason Viana, Executive Director of the Open Door, a proud recipient of the 2020 Giving Women grant. And I'm sorry we couldn't be together tonight in person, but I'm so grateful to the committee that they've given us the chance not only to share our gratitude, but hopefully give you a little bit of insight into the impact your decision to invest in us has made. Now, the Open Door, we are super fortunate because this is the second time that we have been a recipient of a Giving Women grant. And so I'm going to talk about this year and what we've done, but I also want to talk about the ongoing impact of the first investment that you made. In 2015, we came to Giving Women. We had a promising program to make meals available to students in the summertime that we thought could do a lot of impact if we had a little bit of investment. And Giving Women stepped forward and you made a really generous gift. And since then, the program has absolutely transformed. And so just to kind of give you a sense of where we've gone to and from, when we came to you in 2015, we had a really good year and we served 700 meals to students. By the end of this summer, we served over 45,000 meals. So to say it's been exponential, what you've done for us is a bit of an understatement. And so just to back up to talk about the Open Door, we're a hunger relief organization, and we do a lot of things outside of summer meals. But this program in particular addresses a not always well understood need. A couple of years back, Second Harvest did a survey of the state of Minnesota. They were looking for the largest opportunity to impact hunger. Where were the missed opportunities? And the number one missed opportunity in the state of Minnesota was meals for students during the summer in the suburbs. Now, to be clear, that doesn't mean that there's more kids in need in the suburbs and elsewhere, but it means in the suburbs we do the worst job sometimes of addressing the needs that we have. We're not always as resourced as we could be. And so the whole idea of the mobile lunchbox is we use volunteers to pick up meals at school districts and in their kitchens and take them directly into neighborhoods. Think about the ice cream truck, but healthier and no ice cream. And so these vehicles, this is one of our cargo vans, We have 12 volunteers every day this summer. They went to 26 different neighborhoods across 4 school districts, 5 days a week. That's how we got to 45,000 meals. And so by working with our school district partners, they help us identify the top 5 neighborhoods in each of their districts where they have the highest concentration of families in need of support. And then we take our van, we pick up the meals, and we take them out there. Now, this is just one of the vans. The funds that you gave us this year helped us rent additional vans because we only need them for the summer. And we took these vans and we went to 26 different neighborhoods. And so if you think about 45,000 meals that would not have existed nor been delivered if you hadn't made this choice. And so I hope you feel tremendous about taking us from a little bitty idea of social innovation, innovation to a thriving program which we hope other food shelves can adopt, because kid hunger is something we can all do better together. Lastly, I want to thank Giving Women not only for giving to the Open Door, but for being such intentional philanthropists. It's a good idea to give away money. I ask people for money for a living, but the way your group does it with such thoughtfulness and research, it's absolutely laudable. And so I'm sorry I couldn't be there tonight. Thank you so much, not only for investing in us once, but twice. I hope you see the impact you've made, because you've made life better for thousands of families in Dakota County. Have a great night.
Thank you, Jason. We love that the Open Door giving women, doing more good in our community. Next, we have Estelle Brower. She is the Executive Director of Women's Advocates. The grant that we supplied them is for their housing advocacy and aftercare program. Let's hear what Estelle has to say.
Hello, my name is Estelle Brower, and I'm Executive Director of Women's Advocates. And the first thing I want to say is I'm so grateful for the support from Giving Women. It's just been very meaningful to us to get to know you better as an organization and to feel that sense of support. And of course, the financial support is a wonderful thing. What I would like to do is walk through a few PowerPoint slides that'll give you an indication of what we have done with the gift that we received from your organization. And also some challenges that lie ahead for us, and some other things beyond the funding that you might be able to do to help us in the year and years ahead. Women's Advocates' mission is to walk with victim survivors and our community to break the cycle of domestic violence. We are all about domestic violence, ending it, and supporting those who have dealt with it, and preventing the occurrence of domestic violence. We do this work through something that we call our continuum of safety. The idea is that we provide shelter. Shelter has been around, our shelter has been around since 1974. We were actually the first domestic violence shelter in the country, but we offer a full continuum comprising violence prevention and education work, our shelter, which is a centerpiece still of what we do, and sustained safety, which is our housing and aftercare work. You might ask, why housing? Domestic violence, many people don't understand this or realize this, is a housing crisis. About 80% of homeless women with children have previously experienced domestic violence, and as many as 57% or possibly even more of all homeless women report domestic violence as the immediate cause of their homelessness. In Ramsey County, just to bring things really close to home, domestic violence is in the top 5 causes of homelessness here in our county. So we have this program called Housing and Aftercare, in which our housing advocates work hand in hand with survivors, walking with them. They start in shelter to work with them to help them find housing. And just this week in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, this article appeared. No wonder it's hard to find a new home. The Twin Cities has the worst housing shortage in the nation. And to me, that was a real aha moment. We knew it's bad. We know it's bad. It's very, very difficult, this work that we do. And this was an affirmation of exactly why it is so hard to find places for domestic violence victim survivors to live. The way our program works is that we work with them to find housing. Once a survivor has found housing, we help them move, and we provide up to $8,000 in rental and financial support to sustain their safety for a full year. We provide ongoing advocacy and supportive services, and overall, we provide safety and stability. So your gift from Giving Women is helping to support, for these survivors, housing application fees, security deposits, rent assistance, and advocacy services for 44 families this year in housing and aftercare. That includes 44 adults and 42 children. And you can see there that the folks that we serve, it's a very diverse group. 67% of them are Black or African American, 12% white, 9% multiracial, 8% of them are Asian. We do have some big challenges lying ahead. First of all, there is a real lack of understanding of the intersections between domestic violence and homelessness. It's a real epiphany sometimes for people who are advocates on either side of that equation, either for homeless people or for people who are survivors of domestic violence, to understand how very interconnected the two are. Another challenge is that homeless support systems are not built for domestic violence survivors. We have learned this in some ways the hard way. The support systems are not responsive enough, don't move quickly enough to support people in crisis. COVID has made it all worse and so much harder to do this work. I want to emphasize that our total program cost for our housing and aftercare program is $600,000 a year. It's not inexpensive, and funding is scarce, and the need is huge and growing, actually. So what can you do beyond the gift that you've already given us? This slide, I realize this one's going to be a little hard to read, but if you know a victim survivor, believe them and tell them so. Ask a question of that victim survivor. How's it going for you? And listen, that's the most important thing. There are more detailed ideas here, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to share the slides. In your community, you can spread the word. Domestic violence is a housing crisis. Make sure people understand that. Make sure you understand that and can share that information with others. Advocate with your elected officials for more support for homeless domestic violence survivors. Educate your children about consent and healthy relationships. Speak out when you hear misogynist or victim blaming jokes and comments. You can stay connected to women's advocates, and here are a number of ways to do that. We're all over social media, and we have a great website,wadvocates.org. That is what I have for you, other than to just again say a really big thank you to you for your support and your interest and your caring about the issues that we work on and caring about victim survivors. Thank you so much.
Now that you've heard about all of the outstanding grant recipients 2021 class year, we'd like to go on and let you know about some of the upcoming events that we have scheduled here with Giving Women. We are hoping to have some of these be non-virtual events in the future, but in the interim, we will have our eye opener. Always a fascinating event. It is going to be on Saturday, November 6th at 9:30 a.m. Again, as Mary mentioned in our opening, it is a virtual event. And this year, our topic will be our collective mental health. Why don't we feel better? In the wake of COVID-19 and all of the changes that we've seen, a lot of us should be feeling a little better by now, but a lot of us aren't. So let's get together, find out what kind of tools that we have to help ourselves and those around us to make it through these eventful times. We are also slating to have a new member brunch in January for all of the new members for the past few years. It will be in January of 2022 with the date and location to be announced. One item to get on your calendar is the 7th annual meeting. It will be on Tuesday, May 17th, 2022 at the Edina Country Club. And we are certainly hoping by then that we will be doing this in person. Can't wait to see you all again. In that we have had the pleasure of working with, Giving Women continues to impress and excite me with the positive impact we've made all across the metro area. Thank you for your time. Please share this video and our mission with others to see the positive impact we and our grant recipients are making. It is inspiring to say the least, something we all can use a little bit more of these days. In the words of Benjamin Franklin, well done is better than well said. To that I say, well done, ladies. Thank you again. We miss you all. Until we can meet in person again, stay safe and stay well.